What we got here? We got Trump complaining about China being in grave economic danger. Were they? Were they in grave economic danger? Were they? Were they? From what I understood, it was the reason why you fucking backed off inevitably, Trump, from your stupid trade tariff and got your old man Yowie call that you wanted this whole time with China was because you know because the bond markets eventually were just like, can you please do something about these stupid dumbass tariffs? We do not like them. And then Trump was just like, fuck, I have to capitulate. Damn it. I don't think so, to be honest, AJ. One of the main things, like for example, that China was importing from the U.S. was American-made beef, and they already got like not that long after all the tariffs, because the tariffs were made unilaterally against everybody. It made it such that everyone despised the U.S., and so everyone was more willing to make deals with one another to just snub the U.S. So what do we got here? 2 weeks ago, China was in grave economic danger. The very high tariffs I set made it virtually impossible for China to trade into the United States marketplace, which is by far #1 in the world. Isn't it because like it's just #1 in the world because of consumerist tendencies? Like I said before, American fucking consumerism and its consequences shall forever haunt the rest of the planet for a very, very long time. Let's be quite honest here. And again, like, Trump, the reason for as to why, you know, the reason for as to why, like, this was like an economic detriment, not just on the US, it was an economic detriment on fucking everyone, is because of the fact that, hey, guess what? You are the motherfucker that has, the biggest consumerist market on the fucking planet, that being the United States, being America. So, that's pretty cool and fucking epic. We love that. And also, like, the world could just be like, you know what? Well, let's just snub out the U.S. And if they want to, like, I don't know, deal with the tariffs, we don't care. So it's stupid. It's so fucking silly. So I don't know. It's ridiculous. The thing is like, and I've talked about this before, but this isn't the way to bring back American manufacturing. Okay, there's a reason why these tariffs are just really dumb and stupid, and it ended up just being fucking inflationary, and ended up such that the main person, the main sort of the people who had to bear the brunt of the expenses were the American people. It was never going to be the corporations. That was never going to fucking happen. It was never the companies. It's never going to be the Chinese who fucking pay the tariffs, right? Because guess what? Do we need to explain how a fucking tariff works for the umpteenth time? Sure, let's fucking do it again. A tariff is a tax on the goods that are coming into a port. If a port is receiving certain products from a particular, nation or place or whatever, doesn't really matter. What happens? They're going to be subjected, or rather, the company or people who had to bring in those products from those particular areas are going to be subjected to extra fucking taxes to pay for. That's what the imports are. They are basically taxes. So to say that, like, oh, listen, it's the Chinese are the main guys who are not going to benefit. Well, yeah, in the short term, but as soon as they're able to find like new markets and new people that they could just trade with and be like, these fucking dumbass Americans are real fucking dumb, aren't they? Like they did with the primary example I'm saying. One of the main things that China would constantly import was beef. Guess who they started getting beef from instead? Oh, they set up a deal with the fucking Australians instead, because guess what? His fucking tariffs were unilateral, which is why it's really stupid to have unilateral fucking tariffs on everybody, because you're just going to ally the entirety of the world against you to form a fucking trading bloc that's anti-America. So, and also, guess what? Markets. Funny thing about markets, okay? This really, really funny thing about them. They are very well known for being big fans of uncertainty. You know that one thing that Trump seems to constantly fucking cause, and as a result, I don't know what the sort of like economic sort of agency is. I think it's called Moody's. Do you know what I'm talking about, Boy Meets Mini? It's a very credible sort of like economic fucking indicator saying that the U.S. credit is now, well, less credible as a result of Trump's just, I don't know, trade belligerence, is just complete idiotic nonsense and conjecture. So that's pretty cool and good. Yes, thank you, Boyman. Yeah, the country's credit rating, Moody's was saying that the U.S. credit is now being assessed as bad. Do you know how much, like, how bad that fucking is in terms of like the sort of stability of the broader sort of like world economy as a result? But does Trump know that? Fuck no. Of course he doesn't know that shit because he's a bumbling buffoon and an idiot surrounded by sycophants who only want to cater to his every fucking whim and whatnot. It's ridiculous. We went, in effect, cold turkey with China, and it was devastating for them. As far as I can tell, they didn't really get affected by this at all. It was just, like, kind of strange and awkward. Many factories closed, and there was, to put it mildly, civil unrest. Huh? Was there civil unrest in China due to the tariffs? What? Server error. Well, I guess apparently China's violating its trade agreements, so that's cool. Like, economic danger, said Trump via Truth Social Friday morning, claiming that there was civil unrest. Is there any evidence of this? No. Very concerned. I don't really understand where this is coming from. I'm very confused. I'm a little lost on this one. I'm not gonna lie. This seems very silly. Just random stupid old man claim. I don't know. Let's just go with random dumb fuck old man claim. I think that's probably safe to go with. Whatever. I saw what was happening and didn't like it for them, not for us. I made a fast deal with China in order to save them from what I thought was going to be a very bad situation, and I didn't want to see that happen. Okay. Trump, you are the one who decided to do this all willy-nilly and kind of randomly. What are you talking about? It's just silly, dude. It's so fucking goofy, man. Ugh. Because of this deal, everything quickly stabilized and China got back to business as usual. Everyone was happy. That is the good news. The bad news is that China, perhaps not surprisingly to some, has totally violated its agreement with us. So much for being Mr. Nice Guy. I'm still trying to understand. What the fuck? Like, what is the violation of the deal? They brought it down. They brought down the fucking tariffs. What's the violation? I don't understand. I'm very fucking confused. You know, I don't get it. Federal Appeals Court agreed to preserve. Is this a? We're gonna get to this eventually, but is this because of the fact that the courts were just like, yeah, your unilateral policies, right? I don't really know. Like, what's the evidence that the agreement has been violated?
We're fucked.
Thank you, Ford. Very cool. I still don't really know. I'm very confused. Sent a press statement. The State Department and Homeland Security will work to aggressively revoke visas for Chinese students, including those with connections to the Chinese Communist Party or studying in critical fields. And what does that mean? That can mean fucking anything. Right, we're gonna get to the Federal Appeals Court, revoking the Trump administration's ability to sort of, like, do unilateral tariffs, and then, like, they got reinstated by another court or something. It's such a fucking shit show, let's be honest here. But I think as a result, right, like, then this shit started happening. So people started calling Trump a taco. or Taco Trump, right? And taco is an acronym for Trump always chickens out. But here's the thing: it's a little bit of a double whammy because it also plays into Trump's racism because we all know how much he hates Mexicans, right? So apparently, because Trump is saying that he's the one who didn't chicken out on tariffs. Buddy, yeah, you did. What was the demand of the Chinese first and foremost for you to get your old man Yowie call with the Chinese? They wanted you to drop the fucking unilateral tariffs. What did you do? You fucking dropped the unilateral tariffs. You were the one who blinked first. Just like how you blinked first when it came to the the whatchamacallits, the bond market, right? And you stopped going ahead with all of the reciprocal unilateral tariffs, right? So, yeah, technically speaking, like, this thing is correct, but it's getting under his skin, so I guess it's funny. But what do we got here? Bro's got fucking Janine Pirro behind him. Oh well, whatever. I mean, there's a reason why he doesn't like being called a chicken. It's because he's a strongman, and, well, being called a chicken will play into that. You know, it's an ego play, and I respect it. I respect the ego play.
And Wall Street analysts have coined a new term called the taco trade. They're saying Trump always chickens out on your tariff threats, and that's why markets are higher this week. What's your response to that?
I kick out?
Chicken out.
Oh, and then I chicken out. I've never heard that. You mean because I reduced China from 145% that I set down to 100 and then down to another number? And I said you have to open up your whole country, and because I gave the European Union a 50% tax tariff.
Now that you're not going, wait, is he not going through with it? I'm so confused already. He's already he's kind of already speaking out of both sides of his mouth, you know, saying like, oh, because I gave them the tariff, the European. What did the Europeans do exactly to warrant the 50% tariffs that they got on them? Oh, they signed a mineral deal with Greenland. And also, let's ask ourselves this question, Chad. Okay, it's a very important question. Why would Greenland want to make a deal with the European Union over the United States, specifically pertaining to minerals? Oh, because the U.S. has been threatening them with annexation, much to the dislike of the Danish and to the Greenlanders themselves. They're saying like, no, it's not a popular position, and we do not want to be annexed. So, do not do that. We don't want that. No one wants that. No one wanted it. It's because of you, Trump. You're the one who's catalyzing all of these different countries to not like you. But, you know, that's cool. Whatever. Fantastic. Excellent. We love that. So he's just going to, like, bitch and complain about it. Also, again, the reason why Xi Jinping even decided to have a call with you was because you were the one who blinked first. You blinked first on the fucking tariffs, my dude. Like, yeah, you blinked first. Because guess what? The whole 145% being decreased to what? 30% on the U.S.'s side and 10% on the Chinese side was because of the fact that, you know, you lower the tariffs first. Because what was a part of the deal with the Chinese? They wanted you to lower the fucking tariffs because you were the one who just randomly imposed them for, like, no reason. And now apparently the Chinese are, like, violating the deal. In what way are they violating the deal? I don't know. Fucking... That's how they're violating the deal.
And they called up and they said, please, let's meet right now. Please, let's meet right now. And I said, okay, I'll give you...
I don't believe them.
I actually asked them,
yeah,
I
don't
said,
believe
what's
them.
the date? Because they weren't willing to meet. And after I did what I did, they said, we'll meet anytime you want. And
I don't
we have
believe
an end
them.
date of July 9th. You call that chickening out? Because we have $14 trillion now invested, committed to investing when Biden didn't have practically anything.
So the claim goes from 9 trillion to 5 trillion. I guess he's adding the 9 trillion with the 5 trillion that he apparently just got, which is not true. It's more like maybe $1 trillion from what the 9 trillion that he supposedly is talking about initially, that just overinflated, over-exaggerated numbers, and the 5 trillion in of itself is not 5 trillion. It's like speculative sort of like investment and stuff like that. It's complete fucking bullshit. Like, he's just funging the numbers to make himself sound good. So I guess the new number is going to be we have $14 trillion of investment in the U.S. About what? Every day it gets closer to Louis the 14th. Quote, l'état, c'est moi. Yeah, that's true. That's true. Mad King syndrome. We love that.
Biden, this country was dying. You know, we have the hottest country anywhere in the world. I went to Saudi Arabia. The king told me. He said, "You got the hottest. We have the hottest country in the world right now." 6 months ago, this country was stone cold dead. We had a dead country. We had a country people didn't think it was going to survive. And you ask a nasty question like that.
Nasty question. Nasty woman. Nasty. Very nasty. That's very not nice. That's a horrible question. What are you talking about, bro? Are you okay? Like, what's happening? I think he's sad. I think he's mad. Is he mad? Are you 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 mad? Like what do you mean? Like what does he mean? What's going on here? I'm so confused.
It's called negotiation. You set a number. And if you go down, you know, if I set a number at a ridiculous high number and I go down a little bit, you know, a little bit, they want me to hold that number, 145% tariff. Even I said, man, that really got up. You know how it got? Because of fentanyl and many other things, and you added it up. I said,
it's not because of the fentanyl crisis. Again, we've talked about fentanyl before. Most fentanyl comes in through legal ports of entry. It's not just like it doesn't just like randomly appear out of the fucking ether. That's not how that works. Like it's fucking silly.
Where are we now? We're at 145%. I said, whoa, that's high. That's high.
It's a big number.
They were doing no business whatsoever, and they were having a lot of problems. We were very nice to China. I don't know if they're going to be nice to us, but we were very nice to China. And in many...
Dude, again, like I said before, you just randomly decided to unilaterally put a random fucking tariff on them for no reason, and you want to claim that you're being nice to them? That's very bizarre. Like, if I was like China or anyone else, and I just like my homie decides to randomly just slap tariffs on me, like completely out of nowhere and all fucking willy-nilly for no reason, I don't think I'd be very happy about that. I think I'd be pretty upset with that, to be honest. I'm not gonna lie.
Ways, I think we really helped China tremendously because, you know, they were having great difficulty because we were basically
no
going
evidence
cold
of
turkey
this,
with
obviously.
China. We were doing no business because of the tariff, because it was so high. But I knew that. But don't ever say what you said. That's a nasty question. Go ahead.
Oh, he's mad about that one. God, he did not like that question. He got fucking mad. Nasty question. Nasty question. Let me tell you, folks. That's a very rude question. It's a nasty one. Let me tell you, folks. Now, he was not happy with that one. Let's be honest here. But yeah, like, I don't know. Like, what the hell else is there supposed to be said here? It's just like, meh, bleh, 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 bleh. There's like no evidence for any of this whatsoever. It's I don't know, silly. Like, what else is there to say? But what do we have here? Obviously, we have another reason as to probably why he's talking about this and why he's really, really upset about this. It's this specifically. A U.S. court blocks Trump's trade tariffs. So a federal trade court on Wednesday blocked Donald Trump from imposing sweeping tariffs on imports under an emergency powers law. The ruling from a 3-judge panel at the New York-based Court of International Trade it came after several lawsuits arguing Trump had exceeded his authority, left U.S. trade policy dependent on his whims, and unleashed economic chaos, which are all things that he did. Also, keep in mind, let's get the fucking stupid allegations of these people being like secret Chi-Com communists. One of them was appointed by Reagan. One was appointed by Obama, and another one was appointed by Trump himself, as, you know, is being said right here. One was a Reaganite, one was Obama, one was Trump. That clearly they're communists. The worldwide retaliatory retaliatory tariff orders exceed any authority granted to the president by IEEPA to regulate importation by means of tariffs, the court ruled, referring to the 1977 International Emergency Economic Powers Act. The challenged tariff orders will be vacated and their operation permanently enjoined. The panel, composed of judges appointed by Ronald Reagan, Barack Obama, and Trump, questioned the U.S. president's use of the law, which does not mention tariffs. The ruling was per curiam, meaning that it was written on behalf of the full court. Oh, so they did that because they're pretty much all in unanimous agreement, saying like, yeah, based off of this law, which is probably what he's invoking, I guess this is something that can be appealed. So Trump is more than likely going to appeal it, saying like, well, actually, no, it's based off of this ruling, actually, which I believe that's basically what fucking happened. Because they got, from what I understand, it looks like they got fucking reinstated. So, shit show. So saying that, based off of this alone, yeah, he can't do this. You're not allowed to do this. It's not how that works. So Trump is the only president who has claimed the authority to enforce import taxes based on the statute. Tariffs must be approved by Congress because Congress is the one who has control over the purse. But Trump has asserted that he has the power to act unilaterally because the country's trade deficits amount to what he calls a national emergency. Again, we've talked about this before as to why this is just extremely fucking stupid. No, it doesn't matter if the U.S. has a fucking import deficit or trade deficit whatsoever. Okay, I don't know how many times you have to fucking tell these morons that it's not that big of an issue to have a deficit on fucking trade. In fact, it's completely utterly meaningless, and it just doesn't matter, right? It's stupid, but I don't know. Trump supporters, they're never gonna fucking understand any of this stuff. It's silly. It's annoying. To say that a trade deficit constitutes a fucking national emergency. It's just so fucking goofy, dude. It's the goofiest shit on the fucking planet, dude. Because it's just not. The reason why it's okay for the United States to have an import economy is because of how stable and powerful its fucking currency is, right? Broadly speaking, a lot of people acknowledge that the United States dollar is an incredibly stable asset and can be broadly used as, say, a fucking global reserve currency. Why is it used as the global reserve currency? Because of the stuff that I just mentioned earlier with how stable the fucking economy is. But again, with Trump introducing all of the idiotic fucking uncertainty that he keeps introducing constantly for some fucking reason, whoa, that's being completely fucking jeopardized. Who would have thought that would fucking happen? Oh, it's crazy, I know. Whoa, ridiculous. But whatever, stupid. And again, tariffs, since this is monetary policy, that's stuff that gets taken care of and approved by Congress. But again, does Trump give a shit about any of that? No, he doesn't at all. It's so fucking stupid. The lawsuit was filed by a group of small businesses, including a wine importer, Voss Selections, whose owner had said the tariffs are having a major impact and his company may not survive. Let's not even talk about just a wine importer, but how many fucking different small businesses are having to not have full shelves at all, or maybe having problems with stock because of the fact that these stupid tariffs are just affecting everything? Oh, it's been a fucking ton of them. Crazy. Who would have thought that these tariffs are just really fucking stupid? Crazy. Trump imposed tariffs on most of the countries in the world in an effort to reverse the U.S.'s massive and long-standing trade deficits. He earlier put import taxes on goods from Canada, China, and Mexico, claiming that it was necessary to combat the illegal trafficking of fentanyl in the United States, which is very fucking stupid. Again, just an excuse for him to do his William McKinley autist LARP pandering shit. That's the only reason why he's doing this, is because he has a particular autistic fixation on fucking William McKinley, who's, I don't know, the greatest president on the planet. I love William McKinley. Everybody loves William McKinley. He's the greatest. He's the best. He's so good, so good. Fentanyl comes through legal points of entry. That's the case for the vast majority of fentanyl. But does Trump understand that or care about that? No, he doesn't. He doesn't. He doesn't get it. He doesn't get it. He doesn't get it. He doesn't know. He doesn't know. He doesn't get it. He doesn't get it. It's very, very stupid. Claiming that it was necessary to combat that, the court also blocked what it called the trafficking tariffs because they do not deal with the threats set forth in these orders. The court also noted the wild swings in tariff levels. Right, because again, there's one thing the market loves more than anything. It's instability. As Trump has announced, and then backed down from high tariffs on specific countries or trading blocks over the past 2 months. Because he's a mad king, has to act erratically because, I don't know, mad king syndrome. It is what it is. The president was asked by a CNBC correspondent on Wednesday to respond to the fact that Wall Street analysts had started to refer to certain trades made in expectation that he would impose and then back down from tariffs as taco trades, an acronym for Trump always chickens out. He was not happy to hear the phrase. Oh, so they're saying this because of some, like, quid pro quo shit that's basically, like, going on. That's actually way more fucking funny. But now he's going to be more upset about the fact that he's being called, I'm being called a chicken? Wait, in what way am I a chicken? I'm the only one who's fighting for the American people against the Chi-Com threat. The Chi-Com terrorists. Those damn commie bastards. But, you know, he's not. It's just stupid fucking nonsense. Let's be honest here. That's the reason why. It's just all stupid fucking Mad King shit. And he wants to just try to be like William McKinley because he thinks tariffs are a way to fucking wealth and prosperity. It's not how that works. This isn't a fucking video game. Like, it's just not how that works. And I guess this is going into what the court is saying, right? So let's just go over this bit. This brings to our live coverage of the second Trump administration to close for the day, but we'll resume work. It's a closing summary. All of Donald Trump's tariffs are legal and must be removed. A 3-judge panel at the U.S. Court of International Trade ruled unanimously. The court found that the president does not have the sweeping power to impose tariffs he claimed. Sorry, Wall Street traders, no more tacos. That's funny. And here's the bit with the U.S. visas, wanting to revoke them for Chinese students, including those who have connections to the Chinese Communist Party or studying in critical fields, whatever the fuck that means. Just more anti-woke DEI shit. Emil Bove, former attorney who previously defended him in the hush money case, and is going to have a senior position in the Justice Department. Cool. And then we go into Elon Musk, because all of this is trade into that. Fantastic. Excellent. So basically, he's just, what he did is illegal, and a court ruled that he's illegal. But, wait, there's more. Appeals court reinstates Trump's tariffs for now after ruling blocking them. So I guess he can. So a lower court had said he can't unilaterally impose some tariffs. So a federal appeals court on Thursday, so that would be one of the higher up courts because it was a lower court, because it goes through lower court, then it goes to federal appeals, and then it goes to the Supreme Court. At least that's how I, broadly speaking, kind of understand it. So federal appeals court on Thursday temporarily delayed Wednesday's court order blocking President Trump's tariffs, reinstating them at least for the time being. Okay, so they're back for the time being, and they're probably going to keep, I guess, relitigating this shit. Okay. So I guess what, if this court finds that he can't do this, I assume that this is probably going to go up to the Supreme Court next. So United States Court of Appeals for the Federal Circuit issued an administrative stay of the decision while it considers Trump's appeal. Oh, so he appealed. Okay, so that's actually what happened. The ruling came in on Thursday. He appealed the the Court of Appeals for the Federal Circuit, and they took up the fucking case. And now they're basically saying, like, seeing if, okay, well, is there any basis for Trump's appeal? Okay, cool. The administration earlier today urged the New York-based New York-based Court of International Trade to delay its order, warning that enforcement of the ruling will cause a foreign policy disaster scenario. In an opinion on Wednesday, the three-judge panel struck down Trump's global tariffs as contrary to law. The judges found that the International Emergency Economic Powers Act, which Trump used to enact his tariffs, does not give him the unlimited power to levy tariffs like the president has in recent months. Because, yeah, again, like has been mentioned earlier, these most like recent fucking tariff attempts have been like, he initially did a 50% tariff on the EU, and then he backed off of it, and then it became 20% on the day of liberation, and then all of a sudden he fucking backed off of that, and now he's trying to do a 50% tariff because of the thing that I mentioned earlier. He is trying to get like a fucking trade deal, or no, Greenland established a trade deal with the EU, and he's fucking mad about it, basically. So he wants to like lash out, pretty much. So that's cool. And the court is basically saying like, you can't just do just random shit all willy-nilly. Stop doing random shit willy-nilly, basically. The president's assertion of tariff-making authority in the instant case, unbounded it as it is by any limitation in duration or scope, exceeds any tariff authority delegated to the president under IEEPA. The worldwide and retaliatory tariffs are thus viars and contrary to law, the judges wrote. According to the judges, Congress, not the president, has the authority to impose tariffs under most circumstances. Like I mentioned earlier, who has the power of the purse? It's Congress, not the executive. And Trump's tariffs do not meet the limited condition of an unusual and extraordinary threat that would allow him to act alone. Yeah, I think the reason I think the most recent example we can point to is, again, the CHIPS Act, right? That Joe Biden put that Joe Biden signed into law, right? That was because part of it is tariffs on chips, right? In order to incentivize U.S. manufacturing to bring chip manufacturing back to the U.S. The reason why that works and makes sense is and probably will not be struck down by the courts is because A, it was a bill that passed through Congress, and B, the scope of it is rather limited. It's only going after, microchips, basically. Whereas with Trump, he's just trying to, like, do random shit all fucking willy-nilly. Trump took his social media platform on Thursday to condemn the judge's decision. Where did these initial three judges come from? How is it possible for them to have potentially done such damage to the United States of America? Is it purely hatred of Trump? No, it's because you keep doing fucking illegal shit because you don't care about the law because, again, you want to be a king. Also, one of those judges was appointed by you and another one was appointed by Reagan. So don't fucking do this. They're fucking all communists bullshit. Yeah, sure, man. Totally. What other reason could it be? The president wrote. He went on to say that he hopes the Supreme Court reverses this horrible country-threatening decision by the Court of International Trade. Notably, one of the judges, Judge Timothy Rife, was nominated by Trump. A second federal court on Thursday also determined that Trump's global, I think tariffs is probably what's supposed to go there, were unlawful. U.S. District Judge Rudolph Contreras said in an order, the International Economic Emergency Economic Powers Act. What? I think it's International Emergency Economic Powers Act. No, I think this is a mistake, but whatever. It does not give the president the power to impose most of his recent tariffs. Notably, the decision from Contreras, an Obama appointee, only restricts the Trump administration's ability to collect tariffs from the two companies that filed the lawsuit, Learning Resources, Inc. and Hand to Mind, Inc. The Department of Justice on Thursday requested a stay on Wednesday's ruling, saying it's needed to avoid irreparable harm to United States foreign policy and national security. Right, sure, totally. Dude, it's every fucking time with these stupid dipshits. It's always fucking under the justification of, like, stupid security theater nonsense. I hate it so much. It is critical for the country's national security and the president's conduct of ongoing delicate diplomatic efforts that the court stays judgment. Sure, man. Even though, no one wanted to fucking have anything to do with him because of all this fucking bullshit, right? everyone united against Trump, saying like, yeah, we don't like the fact that he's doing this. It's very stupid and it's dumb, and we don't like it. And so they all banded together to be like, you know what? Fuck you. We're gonna make deals with other countries instead of the U.S. and we're just gonna try and pretty much try to snub them. It's hilarious. The harm to the conduct of foreign affairs from the relief ordered by the court could not be greater, lawyers with the Department of Justice argued. According to the administration, that court would strip the president of leverage in trade negotiations, imperil the trade deals already reached, and make the country vulnerable to countries that felt a renewed boldness to take advantage of the current situation. Sure, man. Responding to the ruling, White House spokesman Kush Desai evoked the trade deficit and said, "It is not for unelected judges to decide how to properly address a national emergency." Bro, what the fuck are you talking about? Congress is the one who fucking appoints them. Why are you saying they're unelected fucking judges, right? They're not like district attorneys or something. What do you... The only reason why this fucking Kush guy is fucking saying this shit is because, again, it's to sort of like titillate the senses of the dumbass fucking Trump supporter who doesn't know any fucking better, right? That's the whole point of evoking the fact that these judges are unelected. No. You elect the fucking representatives, and the representatives appoint the fucking judges. That's how it fucking works. But again, they're doing this so they can gin up fucking conspiracy theory. That's the point of them saying this. It's stupid. But whatever. Adding that the administration is committed to using every lever of executive power to address this crisis. The Trump administration had quickly filed a notice of appeal to challenge Wednesday's decision. The case now heads to the United States Courts of Appeals for the Federal Circuit, where they can ask for a stay of the order. The Court of International Trade issued a decision across two cases, one filed by a group of small businesses, and another filed by 12 Democratic attorneys general. Nevada Attorney General Aaron Ford called the ruling a win for the rule of law and for Nevadans' pocketbooks. "I'm extremely pleased with the court's decision to strike down these tariffs. They were both unlawful and economically destructive," right? Because again, it's Congress who are the ones who are supposed to be the ones who put in tariffs, not the president. The president had no legal authority to impose these tariffs, and his unlawful actions would have caused billions of dollars of damage to the American economy. I mean, they already did, but whatever. Sure, man. Since Trump announced sweeping tariffs on more than 50 countries in April, his administration has faced half a dozen lawsuits challenging the president's ability to impose tariffs without the approval of Congress. New York Attorney General Letitia James called the decision a major victory for our efforts to uphold the law and protect New Yorkers from illegal policies that threaten American jobs and economy. The law is clear. No president has the power to single-handedly raise taxes whenever they like. These tariffs are a massive tax hike on working families. I like this rhetoric. Again, keep mentioning how it's a fucking tax hike. This is how you're going to get through to, well, fucking Americans. Is saying, like, it's a tax hike, it's a tax hike, it's a tax hike, it's tax, it's a tax, it's a tax, it's a tax. Because that's exactly what it fucking is. On working families and American businesses, that would have led to more inflation, economic damage to businesses of all sizes, and job losses across the country if allowed to continue. James's statement continued. Lawyers for the small businesses allege that the International Emergency Economic Powers Act, which Trump evoked to impose the tariffs, does not give the president the right to issue across-the-board worldwide tariffs, and that Trump's justification for his tariffs was invalid, which is what the trade court agreed with. But his claimed emergency is a figment of his own imagination, the lawsuit said. Trade deficits, which have persisted for decades without causing economic harm, are not an emergency. Right, because again, like we mentioned before, given how strong the U.S. economy is and how it's seen as, broadly speaking, very, very fucking reliable, there's a reason why that, hey, the U.S. can easily afford to have a fucking import economy. They can afford to have it because it's like, it doesn't matter. right? It's one of those things where it's simply put, it does not matter with the U.S. because again, more companies more countries benefit from having a reserve of U.S. dollars in terms of like, I don't know, like trade or like buying of products. They can use it for deal making of their own. Because again, the U.S. dollar is the global reserve currency, right? It is seen as, broadly speaking, very, very reliable. So it's very valuable for a lot of countries to have a shit ton of it. So, but he doesn't understand it. He doesn't understand like the basis of like what makes US economic power strong because he's an idiot. During a hearing earlier this month, a group of 3 judges who were appointed by Presidents Obama, Trump, and Reagan pushed a lawyer for the small businesses to provide a legal basis to override the tariffs. While a different court in the 1970s determined that trading with the Enemy Act of 1917, the law that preceded the International Emergencies Economic Powers Act, gave the president the right to impose tariffs. No court has weighed whether the president can impose tariffs unilaterally under the IEEPA. During a May 13th hearing, Jeffrey Schwab, a lawyer from the conservative Liberty Justice Center representing the plaintiffs, argued that Trump's purported emergency to justify the tariffs is far short of what is required under the law. Damn, even conservative lawyers are saying like, yeah, man, nah, this ain't it, chief. You know it's bad when the fucking conservative lawyers are also saying like, nah, yeah, listen, folks, the economy is strong when there's only 2 genders. That's true. I'm asking this court to be an umpire and call a strike. You're asking me, well, where's the strike zone? It is at the knees or slightly below the... is it at the knees or slightly below the knees? Schwab argued. I'm saying it's a wild pitch, and it's the other side of the batter, and it's on the other side of the batter and hits the backstop. So we don't need to debate that. The ruling marks the first time a federal court has issued a ruling on the legality of Trump's tariffs, which is, from what I understand, pretty unusual. But hey, we live in unusual times. In May, a federal judge in Florida, nominated by Trump, suggested the president has the authority to unilaterally impose tariffs, but opted to transfer the case to the Court of International Trade, of course. And they were just like, no, actually he doesn't. So, cope, seethe, mauled, dilate, seethe, mauled, and shit like that. So, I guess for the time being, technically speaking, the ruling is still standing, but given the sort of like, I don't know, conditions under... I don't think it's like conditions. I don't think that's correct to say. Basically, they've been canceled for the time being because of, hey, in essence, they're saying like, well, we need to sort of have the appeal happened, and the Trump administration basically argued like, hey, you can't do this because of our like sort of delicate foreign policy and national security sort of situation that we find ourselves in, which I guess is technically speaking an argument that, I don't know, the federal appeals court decided to just kind of go along with, saying like, yeah, sure, fuck it, whatever. So I guess that's where we more or less are at for the time being for, I don't know, this complete fucking nonsense. Yeah. So the tariffs were taken away for about a day, and then they were put back by the federal Circuit Court of Appeals, saying like, okay, well, we can go along for the time being with what the Trump administration is saying, but more than likely what's going to happen, if I were to take a bet, is probably this goes up to the Supreme Court, and I don't know, we'll see exactly how they fucking rule there. With them, it's just like, it's a complete fucking like shit show wild card. Who the hell knows what the Supreme Court is going to say about this? But I guess for the time being, like, they are back in place. I still don't, like, based off of like how the law is written, these tariffs should not be in fucking place. But at this point, it's just going to be a whole like sort of like legal battle, and we just kind of have to just wait and see what happens. I think that's really about all we can say about that. I still think it's really funny that he's just mad about the fact that he's being called the fucking taco, because he does always chicken out, because he's like from every single time he's like fucking done all of this like stupid unilateral bullshit on tariffs. Yeah, he immediately like cowered out of out of them every single time. So calling him a fucking person who always chickens out is valid. But I've talked about this before, but the tariffs are just very stupid. They're not going to do what Trump thinks they're going to do, and the only reason he's doing this is because he has like a particular autistic fixation with William McKinley. That's literally it. It's because of his fucking fixation. No, if you don't have like economic incentives and policy saying like, oh hey, here, bring back these sort of tariffs into the not like bring back these tariffs into the sort of or to use the tariffs as a way to bring back manufacturing into the US. That doesn't work unless you incentivize the companies to do that, right? Like, I don't know how many times this has to be said at this point. It's so fucking ludicrous and silly that he's just never gonna get it because again, he has a particular fixation at the moment. Like, that's literally like all there really is to say it. Trump has this fixation, he just wants his big beautiful tariffs. So at this point, it's all just going to be a complete legal shit show and a legal battle. And we just kind of have to just wait and see what the hell happens at this point.